Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be reviewing the KOM Cycling tire lever combo set. If there's one tool every cyclist should own, it's a tire lever. And with the KOM tire lever combo set, not only do you get a well-designed tire lever, but you also get an integrated valve cord tool for tubeless tire setups. Now in terms of packaging, it's really simple. You have a cardboard box with illustrations on there, the KOM logo. You can see it includes one of the valve cord tools and then the two actual tire levers. We'll go ahead and take it out of the box and go over the specs. Retail price on this is a very affordable $9.99, especially considering the fact you get tire levers and the valve cord tool. It has an ergonomic grip with these little ridges here that make it easier to grab with gloves on. It has a heavy duty design as well, so very rigid and it won't flex as you use it. And it also has an integrated interlocking design that packs really compactly with these little plastic pins. You also have the integrated spoke hook, and it's a little angled one. So this lets you latch it onto your spoke to keep the tire lever in place. And finally, you get the aluminum CNC valve cord tool. And this has multiple functionality from adding or installing valve extenders with the center piece, as well as the valve core remover tools for both Presta and Schrader valves. In terms of what comes in the box, that's about it. So there's no instruction manual in here, as it's pretty self-explanatory. You get the two levers. They're both identical, so you can put the valve core tool in either one of them. So now let's take a look at the weight of the tire levers. We put them both on with the valve core tool on one of the levers already. That comes out to 46 grams, so quite light. Now let's go over the fit and finish of the KOM Cycling tire lever set. As with any cycling tool that you carry, you want to have the most compact tool that has the most functionality, and with this tire lever combo set, you get this nice interlocking design with the valve core tool right on the inside. So if you ever need to do a roadside repair, or even working at home, you have the tool at hand. Now let's go ahead and start with the tire lever. Now they haven't really strayed from the classic formula of a tire lever. You have a tapered body, this nice hook edge, and it's nice and thin right at the tip, but still wide enough to really get in there and pull the tire off. It's also very rigid, so you can see it's quite thick. So as you twist and turn on it, it won't actually flex. And unlike other tire levers, which are skinny, this one's actually quite wide with these little ridges on here that really help grip, even if you have gloves on. At one end, you have the little prying part to go underneath the tire. At the other end, you have an integrated spoke hook. So you can see it's angled. And this will actually allow the spoke to come under and then sit there. And that makes a nice rigid way to hold it in place. You can see the little cutouts of the spoke on the other side. So it's great to use when you want to use two levers at a time. You pop it up, lock this in place, and then use the other one to go around. The valve core tool is also really nicely made. CNC Aluminum. And you can see here it's red. I've seen some other photos of this with the blue version as well. But you have a nice little tool here. You can see it's squared off, and you have the KOM Cycling logo on there. It's an anodized red finish that really pops. And you have two valve core tools here. On one side you have the Schrader, and these are just little small wrenches essentially. And the nice thing about this is it's really compact. So you can put it between your spokes and then just rotate it by hand. On the other side you have the Presta valve version. And this is really essential if you have any tubeless setup, as you need to remove the valve core to check your sealant, to install sealant, or to first set up your tires. You also have a little cutout in the center, and this is to install valve extenders. So it acts as a 5mm wrench to twist on any valve extenders you have. Overall, really nice design, and you can see both tire levers are actually identical. So they'll pop into place in either one, and it can only be installed in one way. The Schrader side on the bottom, Presta on top, and then you have the nice pins here that allow it to lock together. So they really hold in place. Now let's use the tire levers on an actual wheel. I have a standard spoked wheel here, and we're going to take the tire off, so I'm going to pull it back and then use both tire levers. So sneak both of them under, and it usually helps to run both, as it gets the tire off a lot quicker than struggling with one. So I'm going to flip one of them and then lock it in. So you can see here, The left one here is locked on the spoke. And take the other one and then force it back. And you can see with the first one locked in place, it keeps that open and it doesn't slam back. And then you can simply go around. And then you can see now it's all off. And we're ready to do a tire or tube change. So now let's show you the valve core tool in action as well. Here we have a TCS valve from WTB. So it's a tubeless ready one. So we take the larger end, which is the Presta valve core tool, and you line it up with the flat spot on your valve. That's how you know if you have a removable valve core. I'll have a little flat spot that's designed for a wrench or a little tool like this. So once you lock it in place, you just spin it off. They should be hand tight. You don't want to over tighten these things. And you do want to remove the valve core anytime you're injecting tubeless sealant, if you want to check your sealant, or you wanted to do that quick inflation on your first tubeless tire setup. So you can see that's as easy as that. And then to reinstall, we just spin it back on, and then again, just hand tighten it. Now let's do a comparison between the KOM Cycling tire lever combo set and other tools on the market. Starting with the tire levers. Here you can see an example of a really good tire lever with the Pedro and a really bad one, this unnamed, very narrow one I have here. And compared to the KOM one, you can see the Pedro's one almost looks identical. You can see if I pop these off, design-wise, there's only so much you can do with a tire lever. You want a thin tip with a wide grip, so you can see I can really grab this with my thumb and then lift, and that provides really good leverage. You can see they both have a tapered body and the integrated spoke hook at the other end, and almost the same design on both of these. The main difference between these is that the KOM Cycling one has the center cutout and a slightly thicker design to accommodate that. But otherwise very similar, almost identical in terms of the measurements. In terms of the interlocking part, that's also a little bit different. The Pedro one locks into place with these little raised edges, while the KOM one uses these little plastic pins. And if you want to see an example of a bad tire lever, you can see this really generic thin one. It's too thin to use, and because it's so thin, it flexes and doesn't really provide enough grip, so half your hand is actually off. So a lot harder to use, and it's really hard to get a stubborn tire off with this. That's why I definitely prefer the wider one. And obviously KOM Cycling has mimicked the other really popular design, so it works quite well. The other thing that's interesting here is comparing the valve core tool. We actually have the Park Tool VC1, which is almost, again, an identical copy of the KOM one. So I'm not sure who copied who, but again, very similar functionality, same CNC design, a little bit different in terms of the body. The KOM one is this triangular, while the Park Tool has a little more edges to it. You have the same center cutout, both anodized finishes, blue for Park Tool, red for KOM. You can see that 5mm wrench down the middle for the valve extender. You have the valve core remover tool for the Presta valve on one side, and then Schrader on the other. So very similar, almost same dimensions. And the nice thing about the KOM one is that actually the set costs less than the Park Tool. This is over $10, while the KOM Cycling one is $10 for the combination. Now let's go over the pros and cons for the KOM Cycling tire lever set. What we like about it is the interlocking design. It's very compact, so it packs easily and they stay together. Also, the combo costs less than the individual tool prices, so if you were to buy tire lever separate and a valve core tool, it would definitely cost you more than the $10 of the KOM Cycling combo. Also, the tire levers are well designed and they have a wide and grippy texture to them, so they're easy to hold even with gloves on. One of the only cons for this set is the fact that there's no color options. It's only currently offered in the black tire lever and the red anodized valve tool. Taking everything into account, we'd give the KOM Cycling tire lever set a 9.3 out of 10. They're really well designed and affordable tool set. Thanks for watching this review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can see more content from us on our website at thesweetcyclist.com, as well as follow us on Instagram at thesweetcyclist. This is The Sweet Cyclist reminding you to enjoy the ride.